Welcome to episode 26 of the 24-Hour Hustle Show, and today we got special guest, pioneer of Spirit Fingers, Dominga Horner.
Whoop whoop.
Welcome to the 24-Hour Hustle Show. I'm your host, Anthony Freeze, and today we got special guest, Dominga Horner. And also, if you noticed in that intro, she made me specifically say pioneer because we're going to put that stamp on there that she is pioneering the game of traveling, coaching, and cheerleading. So definitely glad to have you on the show. This has definitely been, I would say, almost 9 months in the making, because we've been in contact for some time now, and I knew whenever I started the show, I definitely wanted to get you on, find out a little bit more about what you're doing, because from what I've seen, you're definitely doing a lot of big things. So, this is definitely the show where we get to find out where, people are maximizing on their 24 hours, whether it's an entrepreneurship or they're running their own side hustles. We want to know, how you've been able to develop your success, and I'm glad to have you on the show to be able to promote that and share your story. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Appreciate you for being on. So, like we do on every episode, just so for people can understand, who you are, what you do, and your background, give the audience a little bit about, who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Dominga Horner. I am originally from Canton, Ohio. Shout out to the 330. Born and raised there, and I moved here when I was maybe a sophomore in high school, and went to Wilkinsburg, graduated from Wilkinsburg, which is just down the street from here. I cheered my whole life pretty much, and I'm just very, very athletic and things like that. When I moved here, it was not the best of circumstances. Shout out to PNC. They brought my mom here.
Right.
And that was the reason why we ended up moving.
Okay.
I made it my home, and I can't imagine being anywhere else now. So, I remember hating it.
What?
I hated it. What? I hated it. And then, y'all, it's almost y'all have 7 winters up here. And I know Ohio is not too far off.
Uh-huh.
But it's just different because y'all got hills and stuff. I don't know. But I'm okay with it now because I've been here for a while.
Uh-huh. So how long have you been in Pittsburgh now?
It'll be 23 years, 23,
Okay.
24.
Okay.
Yep, 24 years maybe. Yeah, 24 years. So I have made it my home. I couldn't imagine really living anywhere else. So I'm here to stay, for the most part. I got the traveling bug, that's why I say that. But I definitely leaving some footprints made of cement for the people here.
Well, good stuff. So what are some of the things that inspired you whenever you were, a child, and what were some of your upbringing and what would you say were some of the biggest influences were in your life at that time?
My biggest influence would definitely be my family. My mom and my grandmother, definitely similar to a lot of other African American children. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Go after everything and don't be unapologetic with it. It's okay. And it's all okay. So that was definitely my inspiration, and that was my push. When I started having kids, it was kind of they definitely had to be given that same push.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been told there's nothing that they can't do. And every day they used to go to school, I used to say learn everything. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I still live my life. I try to learn something new almost every day. Try to stay relevant with reading material, kind of stay sharp, you know what I mean? But every day we wake up with a different spirit for the day, you know what I mean? So my goal is to be able to tap into whatever it is I'm supposed to do. Today is you guys. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that I leave something with you all.
Awesome. We look to add the same exact value to you. I like it to be a mutual exchange of, adding value and knowledge and friendship to everybody that we come in contact with. So that's always my goal for, people that come on to the show. So adding value is definitely a big thing. So I love that you said that. One of the things that you said, some of the things that were developing your mindset, What would you say? I mean, so you say you're into like reading books and things like that. What were some of the big things that you say helped you get into cheering? Because you did it pretty much all your life.
I did it pretty much all my life, and my mom did the dancing part, so it was kind of like the best of both worlds. She was a dancer. I grew up dancing all my life, and then it was kind of like I got involved in cheer in junior high school, and it kind of changed my life. It helped me to see myself different. It allowed me to kind of tap into really who I was and not necessarily trying to be a part of everybody else. It helped me understand that it was okay for me to be weird. It was okay for me to be different. I was able to really engulf and love who I was and who I was becoming. So that is probably one of the main things that I use within Spirit Fingers for every life that I touch. You know what I mean? And I guess, I mean, as my kids started to cheer also, and then they started to cheer at a young age. Like they started even before I did. So to see the other little kids that were not as good or that was not as coordinated, to be able to help them and to see that they were still able to move on and make it and not be turned down and things like that, or even if they were turned down, they were able to receive it and to be like, but that's okay, I can find something else. Those are the things that kind of pushed me. It kind of let me know that we were able to fill a gap that a lot of people didn't even realize was missing. So that's kind of where it kind of took off from that. So, yeah.
Now, did you play like any sports or anything like that? Or
I was a track star.
Okay, track star.
I was a track star.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a track star. I did the 4x1, 4x2, the 200, and the 100. And I was really fast. I was really fast. But when I came here, like I said, my mentality kind of was devastated a little bit. I was ripped from everything that I knew. But over the years, I was able to kind of adapt and find my place here. So now I'm okay. But yeah, I just when I started having kids, it was kind of like that mentality of higher education, that mentality of entrepreneurship, of whether or not my kids wanted to do sports, it was kind of like, okay, whatever they wanted to do, you can do whatever you say, whatever, and I'm going to support them no matter what, but it just so happens that they're athletes too.
Yeah, but, I see. They're playing football and basketball, they're doing everything.
Yeah, so it was just, it's just helping kids find what it is find their niche, find the thing that allows them to feel comfortable, but not to the point where they're stagnant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You should still be able to grow with your comfortability of being who you are, and that's the beautiful thing. That's the transparent thing. That's what the world needs.
Right.
There's no filters in real life.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the way we like it, especially here on the show.
Exactly. No filters. So, that's how it is.
Okay. And one of the things that we actually were even talking about before we started the show is we started getting into talking about entrepreneurship and why that excited you and stuff like that. What was it about entrepreneurship that excited you to get started in the path of entrepreneurship and starting your own business?
I hated people telling me what to do that weren't qualified to do so.
Amen to that.
That's not. It's just like, you know what I mean? And it was kind of like, I am my mother's child. My mom is, she's huge on hospitality. She's one of those people where you come in, she takes care of you. She's a mother no matter what, no matter who it is, you know what I mean? And that's fine. So I would be able to go into a business. I can help you develop a vision. I can help you, all the way around the board. I'm great with that kind of stuff. But now, after a while, it's kind of like, okay, so now I've done what I needed to do. I'm helping you build your millions, and I'm still a thousandaire over here. Like, that don't add up to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the more... Well, first, my vision for Spirit Fingers actually started 10 years ago, and 10 years. Yeah,
that's a long time. That's a huge accomplishment.
That's a long time.
And also, I just want to add on to that. You're doing this full time.
Yeah.
So that is a big accomplishment. I mean, that's the point a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs are trying to get to. I know for myself, people that are working part time and working on their side hustles and things like that. You made it.
Well, I appreciate that viewpoint, because sometimes it don't feel like it. I was just, I tell people honestly, sometimes I don't know what I was thinking when I said I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Sometimes it's just easier to go in and get the check every 2 weeks and be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't make you feel alive. It didn't make me feel alive. So it kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, Lord, what next? So I wrote this vision for this, but it was like astronomical. I wanted to incorporate everything that I had been involved in from a little kid. I play 4 instruments, so I know how to read music. I can play music, and I can also play by ear. We dance, mime, choreograph, cheer, the whole 9. So I wanted to incorporate all of that and make it into a performing arts school. The vision was so huge. I'm like, okay, Lord, I got like $10. So what is going on? Like, I don't understand. So I think I did everything that I could do without having to do the money part of it. But I was like, how can we condense it to make it a tangible dream? Like, how can we do it? So then when my kids were already cheering for a couple of years in the midget organization, and that's kind of where I was just like, well, we can do cheer. Like, we already know the fundamentals. We know how to coach. We already choreograph everything. You know what I mean? It just made sense. And then we kind of went from there. So Spirit Fingers is a traveling cheer gym. It is a LLC. We travel to different school districts. Our goal is to bridge the gap between the cost of what it takes to cheer and allowing people the opportunity to experience that world.
Right.
So it's a no twerking zone.
Which is good. We like to hear that.
Yes. We are, we are I was going to say we're a for-profit, but we we do a lot of nonprofit things. We go into a school district, and we teach cheers, we teach chants, dances. Our dance is by V Rose, our song. Everybody learns the same song because we're going all over the world. So when we all come together, you hear the song, everybody's tapping in, and you know what you're doing. So it's called Light Up Your Light by V Rose. It's a huge, it's so cheer, so cheer oriented. But it actually is talking about the light that's within you, and shining that light for the world to see, and basically leaving your light, leaving that little bit. Because some people, you come across so many people in your lifetime, and right now we're at a very social media age and not very person to person. So I'm old school. I was just telling y'all, I'm terrible with this whole media thing, but
it's all good.
I'm coming around, but at the same time, I like the interaction between people. I like being able to actually leave my mark. I don't want to just be a hashtag, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but we come into your school district. Once you're with us, once we hold one camp, you're stuck with us, so to speak.
It's we're part of the family now.
That's absolutely correct. We come in for a week, but then every week after that, we visit you once a week to do mentorship. It's a mentorship program. All of our coaches are either they're college students that are either an elementary education or performance major who also happen to cheer or dance in school. But they work for community service credits, and that's kind of what they do. They get to talk to the kids hand in hand, face to face. The kids kind of get to ask questions. How do you cheer and go to school? How is college life? You know what I mean? They get that one-on-one conversation with kids who, for some people, for little kids, they're not even thinking about college. Me and my husband were so on our kids, by the time they were in the 9th grade, they kind of knew what they wanted to study. So we wanted to be able to give that same head start to everybody, because everybody doesn't have that same support at home.
Right.
So I am it takes a village type of a person. So I'm not better than anybody else, but we're 100% if we can work together.
Right.
So we work together with the guidance counselors once the kids kind of get a little bit older. We kind of help them figure out their curriculums, kind of make sure that they are on point for SATs and ACTs. Most schools provide a one waiver for you to go and take your test, usually in the fall. Where Spirit Fingers, I think that I always said they should allow too, because most kids don't know what it's like. You know what I mean? So I figure Spirit Fingers will actually do a second waiver for you. So if you utilize the one from your school district, we will pay for you to do it again, so that they can kind of take the best of the two scores. So it's a better opportunity for you to get into the college that you want. We kind of take the kids on, field trips, not too far yet because we're still growing, but there's a cheerleading convention that comes to Pittsburgh at least once a year. It's usually held at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center, and sometimes it's over 2 days. Last year it was kind of small. They had it at our convention center in Monroeville. So it was still 3 days. It was still a lot of screaming kids, but like I loved it, and the energy was just phenomenal.
Right.
And you get to see a lot of talent, and I feel like they should be able to go and visit the schools, the colleges, the universities that could actually have them one day as a student. So that's kind of what we do.
That's awesome. I mean, and for me, like somebody that don't know much about this world, and looking on the outside looking in, I just figured it was just just cheerleading and stuff, but it's way more than that.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm glad that you explained that, because for a lot of people, they may see it the same way from that perspective, but you shedding the light on all those different things that you're doing is phenomenal. I'm glad that it is more than just the cheering, but it's just helping people as far as like mentorship and getting scholarships, or just being a support system. Like those are all great things, and it's funny. I mean, this may be a little off topic, but I seem to think of like Drumline at first, and how that culture is almost too. But
it's ruthless. It can be. You seen, if you haven't already, like seen Mean Girls, like that's a real thing.
No, I haven't seen Mean Girls.
But I mean, that's how it is. It's
this episode is for the ladies that may have seen Mean Girls, but I have not seen Mean Girls.
I mean, it's really like the whole popular girl type thing. You can't eat with us type stuff. Like we're like shunning that thing, because at the end of the day, we're all a team. And I feel like anybody that I'm connected to, if I got something, whether it's information, whether it's networking, I don't care. If I got it, you got it. Okay. Because it's room for all of us to eat. Everybody gonna eat, and I shouldn't be able to sit here and watch you struggle and be like, damn, that's messed up. Like. Meanwhile, I got this little kitty over here, and it's like, but you ain't nothing if you have all of this information and you're not using it to help the person sitting next to you. I don't care who they are. Right. So that's just kind of like my mentality. I'm trying to teach that to other kids as well, and helping them maximize who they are as people. Like, I feel like my mom and my grandmother, my kids even, they have done a great job at raising me. I didn't think I say that because you don't learn who you are sometimes until you have people that are watching you. You understand what I mean? Yeah. So with my kids, I'm like, I got to get my together. Like, I can't be messing around. So at the end of the day, it was kind of like their friends ended up becoming like adoptive kids of me, and I'm like, damn, this is a real thing. It's serious. So I didn't have time to like take it lightly. I didn't get to pick and choose what I wanted to be accountable for. So it was kind of like, and like I said earlier, you're responsible for what you hear. Right. So you have to take it. You got to take it, or you can't complain at the end of the day. That's it. You can't complain. So we taking ownership, and we gonna go out and we gonna make our mark in the world. So that's just what it is.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So Amen to that.
So one of the things I did want to talk about. So whenever you initially got to the point of when you did start Spirit Fingers, what were some of the initial challenges that you faced in the beginning, and how did you overcome those? Because there may be somebody watching right now that maybe want to do the same exact thing, or maybe something similar. So what are some of the challenges that you faced, and maybe how can somebody overcome those?
Ooh, one of the first challenges.
This is going to be the realest part of the episode. This is always the realest part.
Listen. The hardest part of anything is making a decision. That is the hardest part. After that, it's like you got to get started. So I'm working full time. I'm a full time wife, and then like my real job of being a mom, that's a full time job by itself. Anybody that says otherwise has no idea. So I'm just gonna say,
you have 4 kids.
Like, you can have one, but if you are an involved parent, like we are literally involved in our communities, and we are at the parent teachers conference. We're helping other students.
I be seeing your live videos on Facebook. You everywhere.
Listen, I try, but that's because it's bigger than you and me. That's why Whitney said it great. You know, the children really are our future. And even though a lot of the roles have been reversed, we gonna get it flipped back. Kids need to still be kids. They need to learn how to be told no and it be okay. They need to learn how to operate in, dare I say, a Trump administration world. Like, can I say that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we still gonna thrive even though he's in office, and it's our responsibility to make sure, like, this dude gets in office and people lose their mind.
Yeah, I didn't lose my mind.
I'm like, we got stuff to do. Like,
exactly.
What president has ever been in office that has altered what you have to do on a daily basis? Let me just think about that for a second.
Let that marinate.
Okay, so there's no excuse. Bye.
Right.
Like,
I feel you.
That's what it is. But that was the biggest thing was getting started. So it was like, you know, you write the vision, you make it plain. After the vision was written, it was kind of like, well, what can I do? We have so many people that are involved in so many different things. We have such a big network of wealth around us that we're not tapping into.
Right.
So it was kind of like, okay, who do I know or who can help me, like, get these words just right? And who can help me, like, how can I get my stuff incorporated to be an LLC? Is the LLC even the best thing? Should I be a S Corp? Like, who knows this information? And it was kind of like, of course we live in a media age where everything is at your fingertips and everything, but then there's so much information that you almost don't know what to pick. So it was kind of like I had to do an inventory of all of the people that impact me daily. You know, I got 4,000 friends and I talk to 2, like,
right.
So it was kind of like, who can I talk to that I can trust with this information? And that was probably my biggest hurdle. Like I said, it took 10 years because I didn't trust people. I felt like I had to do it all by myself. So it was me, my poor husband, and he was probably like, you're driving me crazy. But, get you some people. Get people around you that that value you, that understand your worth, that understand your value, and that are not afraid to tell you that's a bad way of putting that. Yeah. So you need people who are just as transparent with you as you are with them. And write it down, man. That's the biggest thing. I wrote it down and I looked at it every single day. And when you think about that, and you're going to a 9 to 5. Working 100 hours a week. I clocked 102 hours on my last.
Did you even leave?
They had my resignation letter like that Monday. Like, I was like, this is not happening, because I would do all of that and we would still come up short. And I'm like, if I'm doing this, I might as well be doing my has to be my vision. I'm not giving you everything and then sending me home with nothing for myself. And I mean, that was kind of the last straw. I told my husband I was done. He was like, I know. So it was kind of like an agreed upon thing in the spirit. Like, he kind of already knew. But that was like the main thing. The biggest part is making a decision. We make little decisions every day. Whether or not you're going to get up on time, whether or not you're going to work out, whether or not you're going to eat right, whether or not you're going to eat that donut. Like, it's little stuff like that. So if you can take that same mentality and put it into the things that you want. Like, I don't want to still be sitting in this same spot a year from now. And that's what I kept telling myself. And for almost 10 years, that was my conversation. And I got to the point where I don't want to be a part of that conversation anymore. It's New Year's Eve and talking about 2018 is going to be my year. It's been your year every year for the last 10 years. Like, when is it going to change?
Amen to that.
Like, when is it going to change? So that is kind of where I kind of drew the line. I'm like, I am over it. I'm over it. So I got my stuff together, and I mean, nobody is saying that it's gonna be easy. Anybody that tells you that don't believe them. Like, get you somebody.
They don't know the struggle.
Exactly, because like I said, being an entrepreneur is not an easy thing. It's rewarding, but sometimes it's slow. And most people, like, my thing was, I can't do what everybody else does. I've never been that type of person. So while everybody is getting their insurance license, shout out to everybody who passed the test. I know it. Listen, I got my license, both health and life, but it's only because that's my industry that I've worked in for so long. Those 10 years, that's what it was. So it was kind of like, I could get licensed and kind of help people along the way if they need something, but that was never intended to be my bread and butter. So it was kind of like, you can get these certifications, you can do all of this stuff, but if it does not make you want to get out the bed then you need to find something else. And that's the thing. Like, I literally, every day that I get up, I'm like, today's the day. We going to impact somebody different.
Yeah.
Today's the day. We going to, okay. So, and then it kind of, people started coming out the woodwork, kind of like, okay, well, I need you to come to my school. I want you to come to my school. We don't even have a school, but we have this thing at our church. We have this youth program. We have this. So it's kind of like building fast, but it's not necessarily fast. It's building steady. So, I mean, I couldn't imagine it every day. Like, I watch these motivational videos every day. And the one thing, oh my gosh, from everybody. Who's one of my favorites? Lisa Nichols.
Okay.
She's one of my favorites. Who's the other guy? He's
E.T.?
hilarious. Oh, yeah, Eric Thomas. He's good. He's a good one. But one of the people said, if you can figure out how, like, what you want your life to be like, if you can do the same thing every day and you be okay with that, that is the thing that you need to be doing. And it kind of like clicked, and I'm like, yeah, I could do this. Like, you might not see me flipping, but I could show you, I could tell you how to do it. I can teach you the technique. I can teach you fundamentals. I can teach you, you know, like vocalization. I can teach you pitch. I can teach you those types of things. And those are the things that people are like lacking. You're not going to get that at the other cheerleading camps. And that's no diss to anybody that's out there doing their thing. That's the same as everybody else. My calling was just different. So,
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how does someone that starts a traveling cheer camp, how does one, you know, make a profit from that? How are you profiting from the business?
Monetary wise, not so much just yet, but more so like I said, my investment has always been about people. As long as my investment is in a person, I am always going to be wealthy, and that's the biggest thing. So I am, while we all, I mean, you pay your fee or whatever, but like I said, just only once a year that you're paying that money. I didn't get into it to get rich. I got into it to touch people. So, and my prayer is always, every day, I kid you not, as soon as my interest goes to the money and less about the people, close every door, because it's not worth it. Money is necessary, but it's not the thing that sustains us. Right. So, you know, me seeing a kid go to college because of my program, that's what's right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, that's where the legacy is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, I feel like in the beginning stages, whenever people start anything, like, you should give away of yourself freely just to, you know, impact people and add value to people. And when you do that enough times, eventually the money's going to come.
It's going to come regardless. So, exactly.
So just give of yourself freely and just, you know, be genuinely invested into other people around you. Yeah. And it's just, it's funny how it happens. They get invested into you too. Yeah. Because when you care about them, they care about you. There's a great saying that says, people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. Yeah. And that's the truth. And that's what a lot of people don't do whenever they're starting whatever it is that they want to start. They don't show that they care about. First, they don't show that they care about what they're doing because they don't stay consistent with it. But then they don't even value the people that do support them. Like, it's funny, I'll see people that are starting stuff, like, there'll be a few comments here and there, or people will like it. It's like, if somebody comments on something that you're doing, like, comment back. Like, say thanks for the feedback or something like that, or DM them or send them a gift or something like that. Like, do something special for that person and show that you genuinely care. It's like, because, you know, it's hard to start building up that foundation because in the beginning, when you're an entrepreneur, I mean, the beginning stages are pretty much like a slug. Yeah. So, but once you get the ball rolling, it's like you can't stop it.
When
once
I
it gets
said
going.
Several streams of income, that's exactly what I meant. I've been hearing it ever since I've had my insurance license, and it become, like I said, it became a cliche to have a millionaire mindset. Most people have talking about they got a millionaire mindset, but they don't want to work on Saturday. Like, they got a millionaire mindset, but they don't want to work after 5 o'clock. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I mean, hey, listen, to each his own. Right. I just know that my hustle is different because I understand the concept of what I know too many millionaires to know that's not even close to being
realistic.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, once I started with Spirit Fingers, the other stuff just started to roll off. Like, we got a printing press where we print our own stuff. Like, we do, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it went from us doing like our little t-shirts. Like, I have, okay, So I have this thing where I do I don't know if you pay attention, but I do like keto, like the keto lifestyle.
Okay.
Keto diet. Okay. So I have this thing.
Yeah, I don't know much, but
you don't know?
School us.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Well. Okay. So what happened was when I started doing keto, I'm a big coffee drinker already. So I was introduced to keto and had a keto coffee, and then I was hooked. Okay. So now my coffee mugs, they are all like inspirational, or they're funny.
I do know this. I do notice that on your Instagram. I do see that.
So I'm a coffee person, and I'm also like a workout freak. Well, not a workout freak. I'm not a workout freak. I'm a healthy person. That's what I try to do. So that's my daily appointment with myself that I don't let anybody cancel. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of why people who say they ain't got time to work out, that's a load of crap. Yeah. But anyway.
I need to get on your schedule and work out.
Listen, Team 5 a.m., it takes a different mindset.
It
does.
You know
what I mean? It's, and I did that even while I was working. That was kind of like the only time I had to myself. Mm-hmm. Because the rest of the day, it was kind of spread out all over the place. Mm-hmm. But so my t-shirts and my coffee mugs, we're coming out with like an online store that'll be hitting this spring. Okay. To where our coffee mugs and our t-shirts kind of match, and we got all different kind of stuff. But we got cheerleading apparel, shoes, socks. We love crazy socks. One of the main things about Spirit Fingers, back to that, is on the first day of camp, I always tell my students or my athletes, I don't want to hear the word can't. Like, you will do a burpee, you will do a round, like, you will run a lap.
Yeah, like, that word is not allowed around here. That's worse than cussing.
That's right. That's exactly correct. And when I had my first interview after my very first camp, I said, what is one of the things that, you can take away from this camp? She said, can't is not a bad word. I mean, can't is a bad word. Mm-hmm. And I can do anything. I was literally, like, ready to cry. Yeah. Because I was like, you don't expect that kind of stuff to stick. But it was kind of like, dang, they really get it. And to this day, she's a straight A student. And I'm just like, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff where you see the impact kind of slowly take over the people that you're talking to, the people that you're in daily connection with. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was kind of like,
that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Like, they get that kind of feedback, and they hear when somebody is impacted by, something specifically that you said, and you hear that come back to you. It's an amazing, it's a humbling experience. Yes. Like, even like I said, even like with doing the show, like seeing comments come through and say like, oh, this specific part hit me. It's like, man, that just means the world to me. And I know you experienced the same thing. So, I just think that's great that you're doing that. And, with be able to get that feedback and creating this community it's phenomenal. I admire what you're doing.
I appreciate that.
But, as far as like, where you see this going in the future, what's like some of the big goals that you see this going in like the next 2 years, 5 years? What's the big vision for Spirit Fingers?
The big vision is to actually have, for us to host our own competition where we invite schools from all over the country to come, and we actually go to like the Peterson Event Center. Okay, that'll be a big deal. That'll be a huge deal. That is kind of where I'm headed. So within the next 2 to 5 years, that's kind of like where I want to be, to where our name is kind of out there enough where they can kind of, I just want people to be able to see what we're doing even outside of cheer, that they're like, I want that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and then that, hopefully that will draw them in. Like, just to be able to have the support is enough for me to be like, I want that. So I'm hoping that draws people, but that is my vision, for us to be able to host about maybe 20 to 25 teams, if not more, and rent out the Peterson Event Center and host our own. So,
that'll be awesome.
So, yeah.
Okay, so when are you looking to maybe do that? Like, you got a year or a date specific yet?
I would like to do that on, what did I say? It is written down. Okay. It is 2020.
2020? Okay. So we got 2 years.
2020, but it was...
Oh, you have like you got a specific month and day.
Oh, yeah, it's a specific day. It was, oh my gosh. You put me on the spot. I thought I had all the answers.
You don't have to have all the answers. It's all good. But no, that's good.
But it is spring. It's springtime. For, right around the time Worlds is. Okay. But for 2020 is when we kind of want to do that. Okay, cool.
The reason why I asked is because this episode is going to serve as a little time capsule And so this is going to keep you accountable. So, you know, in 2 years from now, I'm going to just shoot you this clip and be like, yo, where are we at on this? Like, we still doing this or what?
Yes.
So, you know, because I want to see it happen too. So I kind of want to be like accountability partner and kind of make sure you see it through.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that, and I'll definitely, you know, do my best to support that as much as possible too.
Well, I'll have to invite you guys to one of our after school programs so y'all can get some stuff. So yeah, like we're a part of the after school program coming up this April. At Wilkinsburg. It used to be Johnston Elementary School, but it's now called Community Forge. And it is basically like a business of after school programs. So they're kind of like, the building itself houses different organizations that actually have things for youth. But they themselves have like a Pittsburgh Learning Center in there where they help, like they have their own like STEAM or STEM program. So, but we'll be Spirit Fingers will be one of the not organizations, but it'll actually be one of the activities that they do for this last 8 weeks before they go to summer. You know what I mean? And then we'll actually have a summer camp there. So I'll have to keep you guys
keep us posted
in the loop. Absolutely. I'd love to have you come and shoot.
That'll be awesome. And then so anybody that's watching, how would someone, you know, that has kids and maybe they feel like they can get their children involved in the cheering, how would their kids get involved with, you know, your organization?
Well, they can contact me directly. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. My phone number is actually listed on Facebook.
Okay.
And I didn't even realize that until I had somebody call me, and I'm like,
that you didn't
what?
Know.
I didn't.
But like,
somebody I knew from years ago, and I was like, what is happening? They were like, yeah, I got your number on Facebook. I was like, who did that? I don't even understand. But you know, Apple is kind of weird because I feel like they can plug in stuff in certain things when you have everything Apple. So I don't know.
Okay.
I think they have too much power. Like they got a little bit too much power. But yeah, they can always hit me up, text, email, Facebook.
What's your email?
Instagram. My email is dominga.horner. That's DOMINGA, no apostrophe. .horner at iCloud.com. And yep, my Facebook is Dominga.Horner as well. Or Dominga Horner. And then my Instagram is Miss Horner.
Gotcha. Do you have a Facebook business page?
I do have a Facebook business page. It was put out there like years ago, so I am actually... I need you guys' help.
Oh, yeah, we can work on that.
Yeah, for sure. Give
you some good tips and advice.
Yeah. You can actually, it's attached to my page, so you would have to go out there and see. But it's like it's very minuscule with things. Like I said, I'm very old school.
It's all good.
So, you know.
So anybody that may be, you know, either struggling to make that decision and, you know, get their hands on pursuing their passion, what's some good advice, you know, based off your experience, would you give to them to actually get in the action mode?
Affirmations.
Okay.
Affirmations. I was going to bring my book, Affirmations. Listen, one of the things that I had to do is most of what I found for myself, and I know that this is going to be true for a number of people, if not everybody, but one of the things that kind of had me pause for a lot of the things that I wanted to do was how I saw myself. I didn't see myself, and most of us don't see ourselves as worthy of being, you know, that millionaire, even though our mouths say it, our actions prove otherwise. So mentally, you have to have it already in order for the rest of the world to manifest, for your body to get that action energy. You know what I'm saying? That action energy is what kicks you into, okay, whether it's easy or whether it's hard, I'm still doing it no matter what. So my thing is, like, every day, like I said, I just started to look at myself different. I had to believe something different. I had to believe it was going to be different. You know, we speak things. We're taught to speak things, but our actions, we've barely had it's always been kind of speaking and I'm just going to go to work type stuff. Our actions just never kind of added up or equaled up to what we were saying. So I needed to be that person. If I'm speaking it, I need to at least be on my way to get up there. But I couldn't say I wanted to be a millionaire, but then sleep until 11 o'clock You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, you know what I'm saying? Or like...
You put out that quote on Facebook and then go right back to sleep.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm calling some of y'all out.
For real, because that's exactly what happens. And then people don't, it wasn't until I started to kind of take an account of how my day was. Like, I literally journaled what I did in a day, and I really saw how much time I wasted. And I'm like, damn, 24 hours, you got to at least get 6 hours of sleep. Most people work for 8 to 10 hours.
Right.
So it's kind of like, what exactly are you going to do? And my actions just did not line up with what my mouth was saying. And then it got to the point where my kids, you know, they're very blunt. Like, because that's how I am. It's kind of like, I'm not mincing words with you because the world is ugly and it ain't going to lay it out soft for you, so here it is. And my kids would be like, what are you doing? Like, where is it at? Because we're not seeing it. And then, like, they are probably 4 of the most headstrong, disciplined people walking the face of the earth that I know, and I'm just like, dang, they really are out here doing it, and it just wasn't adding up. So I started to write affirmations for myself, what I saw myself as. I am beautiful, I am strong, and it's so difficult, believe me. I started with doing 30, and to get to that first 30, it was difficult. Like, what would normally you would think would take like 10, 15 minutes was taking like a couple hours because I didn't believe that I could write down the stuff like that. What I was writing down was me. So while I'm a good mom, I'm a good wife, I started out with the stuff that I knew. I know that I'm a strong woman. I know that I'm beautiful. I know that I'm ambitious. I know that I'm driven. And then it got to be, I am a pioneer. I am an entrepreneur. I am a millionaire. You have to see yourself and be okay with it. I am healthy. I do work out. It's all of the negative stuff. Life is so full of it. And then we kind of talk ourselves out of what it is that we want. Dang, I am so lazy. Oh my gosh, I am so slow. Oh my goodness, I'm so clumsy. Really?
Right.
So it's kind of like anything you affirm and you speak out of your mouth, those things are going to come looking for you. So you have to, like, be careful. You got to be mindful of that stuff. People be like, you ain't got no sense of humor. Yeah, I got a sense of humor, but I take my shit serious. So,
Amen.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, what exactly did you do today? And I don't want to ever, I had to get to the point where when I laid down at night, I set myself up to not have to do stuff that I had left over. I used to be the biggest procrastinator. I'll get to it. I'll do it tomorrow. Then that stuff never got done. And it was like, okay, if you don't take it serious, how do you expect other people to? So when I started to do, like, the morning roundtable is like this thing that I do every morning now. And it just started not too long ago, but it was kind of like my transformation of being Dominga 2 years ago to who I am now. I never was like a timid person, but it was almost like you could tell that she wasn't okay with being weird. She wasn't okay with being who she was. I'm weird as hell. I'm okay. Like, I'm good. There you go. But weird is a good thing. It got to the point where that wasn't an insult.
Right. It became
It was a compliment, and I had to learn it and take it and apply it to me, and that's just how it was. So I had to fall in love with who I was all over again. I wrote myself love letters, and if nobody else see it, like, it needs to be you need to be able to display it. So that's where I would tell anybody, you start with yourself. And then you got to get it in your mind mentally, because once you see it mentally, ain't nothing going to stop you. That is going to make you unstoppable. And that's one of my affirmations. I am unstoppable. I'm relentless when it comes to me getting mine, because nobody else is going to do it.
Right.
Period. So what do you have that you're going to leave this world? What do you have that nobody else has? Everybody has a deposit that is supposed to be left, that's supposed to impact. What is yours? I don't want to be just one of them other people in a group. I could care less about having 1,000 friends all around. I can't, because y'all all talking the same shit and you ain't nobody doing nothing.
Right.
So what? Like, where we at?
Absolutely. Going in.
I mean, I'm just saying.
No, I mean,
I tell my kids all the time, like, people will sift themselves out of your life without you even, and it ain't got to be no word spoken, no ill will, no nothing. Like, I just can't rock with you right now because I'm.
Right.
Listen, I got to stay focused. I got to do what I have to do over here, because over here, y'all still saying the same stuff.
Exactly.
I can't do it.
I feel you. I mean, everything that you said in there is that's the realness right there, and I could tell you've definitely immersed yourself in actually doing this. I can hear it in your voice. I can tell in your mindset you are actually doing this, and that's what it's about. I mean, especially with the positive affirmation things, you got to reprogram your mindset. Like even what you said earlier to your point of not saying can't, because when you say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, and you keep saying that over and over and over again, you're eventually going to program yourself into thinking, oh, maybe I can do this.
Yep.
But you gotta reverse engineer it and start saying, I can do this, I am great at that.
What the affirmations do is, I don't mean to turn this into a black and white thing, but black people have been told what they can't do for so long. We have been immersed in like negative things about ourselves, whether it's our image, whether it's our work ethic, whether it's for the black men being a positive, involved dad. Like these are things that the affirmations actually can reverse generational curses from years. And I'm just like, damn, like when my family came over here, my family is from Cape Verde, Portugal. That is a Portuguese colony in Africa. They colonized, they were slaves, they had slaves, but they came over here. And it's kind of like when my family was there, they refused welfare and they became their own entrepreneurs. That's in my DNA. I don't know why every Fonts is not like, that's my maiden name, but I don't know why every Fonts is not like already into their own thing. You understand what I mean? Like when you understand where you come from, that's royalty right there. Every single person has something like that in their DNA. I just so happen to know where mine is. If you got to start there to find out who you are, my recommendation is to do it. Do it now. Because you will, before you know it, you'll be like disappearing as fast as a whisper would. Like, you understand what I mean? You have to find who it is who you want to be so that you can actually manifest yourself. Like, when I leave this world, I want them to be like, dang, she did the thing. Like, that is her right there. And that's I would hope that would be everybody's thing. And I don't have to be known on like a massive scale. It just has to be, if it's nothing but living through my kids, I need them to know that there's nothing that you cannot do. If anybody tell you can't do something, you leave them right there and you go find you somebody else. Right. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. You got to cut that kind of association out.
Yes.
And you got to take the people you associate with seriously.
Absolutely.
Because if you're speaking into your life and other people can take the time to speak into your life as well and maybe speak negatively, then you got to cut them out.
It's so funny because when I put my like round tables and stuff up, I see people. I don't do it for likes because that's not really my thing. Like, okay.
Right.
But when I see that I don't get as many any likes on it, like it's kind of like I must have hit a nerve,
right? Because
I'm like, this is the kind of stuff where you should be glad that somebody is being that transparent with you. I would rather have you tell me the hard truth than a soft lie any day. I don't need to be coaxed. I don't need to be like, patted like a dog. I don't need none of that kind of stuff. The world is ruthless. You should be also with exactly what you want to leave here. You should be the absolute contrary to what the world say. I want people to be like, Dominga did this in the Trump era. She was still a pioneer. She still killed it. And at the end of the day, I'm doing this because she told me that I could. I believe what she said. So let me just run with that. Run with it. Go. Do it. It's just like pursuit of happiness. What did he say? If people tell you can't do it, or you say you want to do something, just go get it.
Right.
Period. There's no commas there.
Right.
It's a period. Go get it. That's anything. And it's so funny because people will say it, but they don't believe it.
Right. They don't believe it yet.
They say it because it sounds good. It sounds real good.
Right.
I'm going to get ripped this summer. That sounds real good. Until you got to get up at 5 in the morning and be at the gym for 90 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever. It's the same concept with everything. People want stuff handed to them. You can't expect to be no millionaire and you thinking people going to hand it to you.
Right.
What millionaire don't work hard?
You got to work for that.
Listen.
That takes some serious work.
I don't know nobody that is wealthy that has not worked hard in any way, shape, or form. I don't know anybody in my gym that's fit that hasn't worked hard. I don't know anybody that has made the dean's list that didn't work hard. Like, it's not just gonna be handed to you.
Right. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the effort. But that whole like last 15 minutes, that section right there, full of that was passion packed right there.
Oh my gosh.
But since we're getting closer to the end here, and I feel like this lines up perfectly. What's a challenge? Talk to the audience. You get right in the camera and look at it face to face if you want. What's a challenge that you would propose to someone out there that, you know, they feel inspired to maybe do something or motivated to want to do something, but they're not quite there yet? But what is a challenge that you would propose to them in the next 24 hours to accomplish that can get them on the road?
I would say that I would challenge you to affirm who you are. I would say you start with the fact that start with the things that you know you are already, but you need to learn how to see yourself different. See yourself how you see yourself 10 years from now. But you got to start today. It don't start, you just don't get there. It's not like you just wake up and you just have been this person that evolved. So my challenge is for the next 30 days or the 24 hours.
It could be 30 days too. Keep it going.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere and do 30 affirmations of who you are or what you want to be. Of what you are. You are beautiful, you are talented, you are creative, you are ambitious, you are intuitive, you're a pioneer. I ain't the only pioneer out here. I know I'm not. I'm speaking to so many people right now. Mm-hmm. Get it done. Like,
let's go. Let's do this.
Time is not only money. Time is life. You cannot get it back once it's gone.
Right.
Like, time is not something that is God's just giving out. Like,
yeah.
Here, let me. He gives you second chances.
It's limited supply.
That's right. So you got to use it wisely. Take the next 24 hours, rediscover who you are, and reintroduce yourself to the world. Mm-hmm. And start with reintroducing yourself to you first. Mm-hmm. If you don't believe it, ain't nobody else gonna believe it. Believe that. If nothing else, I'm serious.
Right. This actually is funny that you mentioned that as far as like writing maybe 30 affirmations down in a day and actually start speaking those. There's actually a book that I read by Joel Osteen called I Can, I Will. And he actually has, like, in each chapter, it's like a book that's 30 chapters in each, and you will read one chapter each day. And in the book, he kind of has a lot of positive information for that specific day. And it's a book that you would pretty much finish in 30 days, which is pretty much a month. Mm-hmm. And that can also get you on the path, too. So, also, I mean, check out that book, too. That actually falls in line perfectly with that. So, I would definitely agree with that.
Awesome.
In the next 24 hours, definitely write down at least 30 affirmations. At least write them down.
Yeah.
And then, start speaking those every single day.
You write it every day. Every day we wake up with different graces. Mm-hmm. I mean, and you might feel different. Some days you feel prettier than other days. Some days you feel stronger. But at the end of the day, you are not a failure. You are not, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, helpless. You have to speak what you are. The world tells you so many times and in so many different ways what you're not. Your bank account mine tell me often, no, you can't. I
feel the same way.
Listen, God has put in us everything that we need in order to accomplish what we need to right now. He didn't say if you had money.
Right.
So just do it. Don't make no excuses.
Your faith isn't a condition on what's in your bank account.
That's right. That's exactly correct. So, no excuses, man. Decide, commit, and complete it. Write it down, make it plain, go after it, go get it, and just be done.
Awesome.
It'll be one thing, you be crossing them off. Before you know it, you'll cross so many things off on your list, I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. It'll make your heart smile, and that's what you need. Oh, man, I'm telling you.
Well, we appreciate you definitely being on the show.
Thank you.
That was definitely passion-packed.
Yes.
I'm hoping, with everything that you shared, hopefully that was a nice little kick in the butt to actually get some people doing some things, because there's a lot of people out there that, they say they want to do things and they don't do it. But hopefully this will be the episode that actually gets them on the road to, moving on their goals and dreams. So, definitely appreciate you coming on.
Awesome.
So, for everybody that now knows what Dominga does with her 24 hours, I definitely want to know what you do with your 24 hours. Definitely leave a comment down below saying that you accepted the 24-hour challenge and use that hashtag, because we want to keep you accountable to that as well. Definitely subscribe, turn on notifications, and we will see you on the next episode.
All right, deuces.